How about this interception for Legacy? Keegan Woodbury. Mandan was on a long drive. They got close to the red zone. Before that, INT. Legacy, then the problem is, got the ball at their own 3-yard line, and they lost 2.5 yards. So they have a 3rd and 13 at their own half-yard line right now.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's a single good thing if you're Legacy. Like, what is the thing you draw up here? Do you run the football and just play conservative and try to pick up a few yards to get away from the goal line? Do you risk the pass? If I'm Legacy, I'm throwing the football up in the air. I'm telling big 88 Nick Cup for my Division I wide receiver, hey, you see where the chains are 12 yards away from here? Go run 12 yards. We're going to throw you a jump ball and see if we can't move the chains.
Legacy already has 3 turnovers. Mandan's defense had 2 safeties against Dickinson. Phelan bombs it downfield for Kupfer. Incomplete. No flag. Great coverage by Trace Teets. They went stride for stride with Kupfer.
I mean, and that's pretty much what they drew up. They just said, run. They told Nick Kupfer, run in a straight line. And they told Clay Phelan to heave it over to him and see if that's what you can make something happen. And it's close. It's good coverage by Teets, but just past the outstretched hand of Kupfer.
The Legacy offensive line also did a pretty good job. They're going to need to again. Phelan punting, gets rid of it quickly. Whatever happens, Mandan going to have great field position. Philmoney up with it. And he's down right there. So he's at about the 36-yard line. With 4:16 left, what an opportunity for the Mandan offense.
That's about as good as punt coverage as you could have if you're Legacy. Right where Philmoney picked it up is pretty much where he got tackled. Now, the problem is Mandan, if you're Legacy, the problem is Mandan has the football at your 36-yard line. So they only need 36 yards to get into the end zone, 4:16 to go. I mean, and you said it perfectly. Huge opportunity for the Braves, and big chance here for Lohman to get some revenge after throwing an interception that ended last drive. See if he can lead his team on a game-winning drive here in this game.
The offenses have been thwarted so far in this second half. Sweeney, right side. He's got a pickup of 4 yards on 1st and 10.
It's funny because the pass game has been what has been so successful for Mandan all night long, but dating back to just last drive, Mandan ran the football 5 straight times. They picked up 5 big gains, and then it was the very first pass after all those runs that got picked off. So right now, if I'm Mandan, I'm not surprised if they keep it on the ground pretty much this entire drive. Knowing the clock situation too, 3:45 to go, you got plenty of time, you're near your 30-yard line, you can take off some time here before you score.
And Coach Sheldon for Mandan trusts that offensive line. That's who they're leaning on right now as they go back to Sweeney inside the 30. So he'll get 5 yards, a 3rd and 1 on the way now for Mandan.
I think the only game this entire season that Mandan's offensive line has been matched or even outmatched was the BHS game a couple weeks ago. But tonight especially, that offensive line of Mandan and for Todd Sheldon, they are so much bigger. They have so much more size than Legacy. I would just run the football and let those big guys push up front.
3rd and 1, keeping it simple. Barnhart got the first down. 3 yards for Barnhart, triple what they needed. But how about James Barnhart today? He came in with 8 carries for 48 yards. Today he's got 10 touches for 76 yards rushing.
No Garrett Schaefbauer, and you got to rely on other guys to do it, and a bulk of that has been done by Barnhart. The guy that you look for to make plays defensively, he's also made a lot of plays on the offensive side. The only touchdown of the game so far for the Braves has been Barnhart on the ground. They're continuing to go through him and Sweeney on this drive.
Still 2 timeouts for Legacy. Not thinking about using those yet, but Mandan's really moving it. Sweeney taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Draken Stugelmeyer, who's had a great game, 2nd on the team this year in tackles. The junior made a play there.
That's a big tackle to make, too, in the open field. If he doesn't make the tackle right here, then Sweeney probably runs for 5 or 6 more yards, but he trips him up right there, right around the line of scrimmage, holds him for a 1-yard gain. A nice job by 21 there on the tackle.
And a player for Legacy is shaken up right at the line of scrimmage. That is Landon LeBeau, the 240-pound defensive lineman. So for Mandan, trying to move the ball and close out this game with some points. LeBeau is still down, but now he's up. So LeBeau will walk off under his own power. That's a good sign. That's one of those physical guys that you need in there, though, against the run.
And I was just about to say that. We've talked about how Mandan has the size advantage, and they do, but that's one guy that has a lot of size for Legacy and LeBeau. You do not want him to be hurt very seriously for a lot of reasons, but especially for the remainder of this game. If you can get him back out on the field, then that's good for your defensive line with his size.
Clock still rolling. A 2nd and 9. Lohman comes out in the gun. Play action, looking to throw. To the end zone, wide open, Phil Money, touchdown, Mandan.
And with that touchdown, BNC National Bank will be
Phil Money's 11th catch of the game.
What a time to call the run if you're Todd, or the pass if you're Todd Sheldon. The last time they threw the football, it resulted in an interception. A lot of running on this drive. They go the play action. Legacy's defense bites, and the guy who's been on the back end all game long, Phil Money, with a huge catch.
Sarah Burgum, she's an all-conference soccer player, boots through the extra point, and the Braves lead 14-7 with 2:14 left in the fourth. 25-yard touchdown pass with 2:14 left. Jace Lohman's first touchdown of the game for Tyler Phil Money. How about 11 catches, 116 yards and a touchdown?
Yeah, that guy's been everywhere. Two in black has made plays on the offensive side of the football, but don't forget he had an interception defensively deep in his own territory to save a touchdown opportunity for Legacy. Made plays on both sides of the football, and give a lot of credit to Mandan. Offensively, they were moving the football well tonight, but they weren't putting it into the end zone. They hadn't scored since the first drive of the game. That's a big one with 2:14 to go.
Legacy trying to avoid their 4th heartbreaking loss of the season, looking to come from behind. Kupfer returning, cuts, still on his feet. Here goes Kupfer. Across the 35, he almost busted off a big one. Still a great return to the 39.
Yeah, awesome return. You'll take that if you're Legacy every day. To have the football near the 40-yard line to start this drive. And the good news for the Sabres is they're a team that likes to throw the football. Clay Phelan is 2nd in the conference in passing yards this season. Why not let that man throw the football a few times? 2:05 to go. They're not a team that has to move it by the run. They can move it with the pass. 2:05 is still a lot of time for Clay Phelan to move this offense down the field.
Legacy is perfectly comfortable in a 2-minute drill situation, especially with 2 timeouts. Phelan today contained to 9 for 19 through the air for 149 yards. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. They go with the screen pass to Barrett over the middle. That's a good one. He's still going inside the 40. Max Barrett down to the 29-yard line. 32 yards on the screen pass.
That's about as good as you can draw it up on the first play. Phelan faces a little pressure, drops it off over the top to Barrett, his running back, and Barrett does the rest. Sheds a couple tacklers before the big Jackson Dutenheffer is able to track him down.
Inside the 30-yard line. Phelan looks back to the left. He's got Kupfer. It's a screen pass. The burst of speed, still on his feet. Nick Kupfer in for the touchdown.
Legacy touchdown.
Legacy answers in 2 plays.
2 minutes. Who needs 2 minutes? Give him 30 seconds. That's enough for Clay Phelan and Nick Kupfer. Goes one way, turns back around, fires it over to Kupfer, and the big man does the rest.
Nick Kupfer now. 6 catches, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Are they going to go for 2?
Oh my, Legacy is going for 2.
I love this call. I love the aggression. Go for the win.
Sabres fans stomping their feet, making noise. Or rather, Braves fans, of course. And Mandan wants to take a timeout and talk things over. We'll keep it here. Wow. Let's take a look at this touchdown play once again. 29 yards. Just a great play design.
Yeah, really good play design. You get the defense looking one way, and then you leave your top wide receiver on the other side of the field. Kupfer goes in for the end zone. And man, how about this moment? 1:37 to go in the game, and Legacy, at least for the moment, looking to go for two to take their first lead of the game. Maybe they decide to change things up during the timeout, but I leave the 2-point team on, and I say let's go for the win. They've had too many heartbreaking losses, like you mentioned, this season. 3 losses, all against 3 teams that are undefeated this season. This is a chance to win a big one and keep your playoff hopes alive.
They have struggled late in games. It has been unbelievable for Legacy, the heartbreak they've had. They were only down 1 late in the third against BHS, ended up losing that by 21. They led Jamestown 20-0 in the third, lost by a point. Came back against Century and were within 5, still lost that. Now they're going for 2. Look at this creative play. The line is spread out. Now it comes together and they will kick the extra point. TJ Seidel, the all-WDA kicker, a big one. Right down the middle. Cold-blooded extra point, and we're tied at 14. Oh, baby. What an answer for the Legacy offense, and with 1:37 left, things are getting interesting down the stretch here in Mandan.